Make it make sense. I hope you guys are having a good weekend. I was like, let me bring this one to you live because we gotta like really get into some things. B Scott then spilled a whole bunch of tea. Some of it I'm hoping is not necessarily a storyline for RHOA because it's coming across a little tired. But we'll get into that. And I'm gonna get into some things that I think would be even better storylines that I hope that they're about to get into. So, like the video as this intro plays, if you have been here for a while, then you'll know this one. But if you're new to the channel, this is pretty much where it all started.
Make it make sense. Could somebody please make it make sense?
Big moves.
Surfer.
Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
Okay, so that was really where it all started with the introduction. Ashanti still gets me. Okay, so B Scott put this out. Now, y'all, let me say this much. If this is the direction RHOA is going in, we're going to have to talk about it because Drew and her divorce, I get it. That's a big storyline. But if we're going back to Latoya Ali and everybody she kissed, you know, they had already put out that she had kissed Latoya before the Bolo stuff and that Latoya had kissed Peach Juice. And then as soon as she kissed Peach Juice, she had to go throw up. Or maybe she had thrown up and then she kissed Peach Juice. It was all pretty gross. It was all pretty disgusting. Excuse me. But I don't know, y'all. Like, let's get into what they had to say about it. Because if these allegations are true, because at this point they are just allegations, does that mean that Drew was cheating on Ralph the way that we all felt that Ralph was cheating on her? Because I'm not one of these people that believes that a girl-on-girl kiss is not cheating if the person is married and not in the type of open relationship that allows for you to have multiple partners. So to me, that's the bigger allegation. Not did she kiss her? Because I could totally believe Drew kissed her. I could believe that potentially what Mimi from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta was saying about Drew and her ex-girlfriend or ex-fiance or whatever they are. Again, let me take that back. Because Mimi was also the same one who said that when she was swinging from that shower curtain or that shower rod, that it was just a private home video, to only then we found out that it was a produced video and she made the content on purpose. So just saying. We also have to get into Kim Zolciak, Lisa Wu, and what's her name? What's the last lady's name? It was she was a little boring. DeShawn Snow. We got to get into that because I have some good storylines that could maybe draw up some more attention for the show. But anyway, let's get into this one. Exclusive clip reveals RHOA's Marlo Hampton and Candy Burris put Drew Sidora on blast in Portugal for allegedly kissing Latoya Howard. B. Scott exclusively revealed while co-hosting today's episode of The Breakfast Club that the Housewives of Atlanta ladies got into some drama after a recording surfaced during their cast trip to Portugal. And now we have a few. I just came from the gym. I'm sorry, guys. And now we have a few more details to share. As it turns out, some of the drama revolves around Drew Sidora and her relationship with former friend of the show, Latoya. In a series of clips exclusively heard with lovebscott.com that we're not posting out of respect for our sources, Drew can be heard explaining to the girls how Latoya lied to everyone about effing Drew's longtime friend, Prophet Lot. That Prophet Lot storyline was stupid from the beginning. I never liked it. Drew can be heard saying she was a very sexual person. She has no problem licking her tongue out like that all the time. That's just Latoya. And it's crazy that she's always in heat. So you calling this woman like a dog? Like a dog is in heat? Okay. That's actually okay. In one of the clips, Marlo can be overheard asking Drew to clarify. So Latoya be lying too, you're saying. Drew says, she told me and Ralph explicit details and she apologized to both of us. She effed the prophet and she gave me some explicit details of how she effed the prophet and what happened. In another clip, Drew is on the speakerphone with someone while denying allegations that she and Toya had kissed. It's unclear from the clips what night everyone is talking about, but we're going to assume they're talking about the night at Cynthia's bachelorette party when everyone got drunk with the bolo stripper. Back ahead of RHOA 13, okay, B. Scott had revealed the bolo stuff. It was after that Tanya Sam fled to Canada, blah, blah, blah. Tanya and her man ain't even together anymore. She lost her meal ticket. But Tanya, I always felt was a little better than her man anyway. So I'm sure she'll find somebody who actually does want to marry her and is actually of quality because she was pretty, she was smart. But you don't have a forever fiance if the man really wants to marry you. Guys, it's a different time for me. So definitely hit that like button. We got to let YouTube know that we're here and we're live. So we got about 200 people watching. I never kissed her mouth. She never kissed my mouth, Drew says in the recording. So where else did she kiss, Drew? If it was something just simple as, oh, this person kissed me on the cheek, then you would have said, oh, we shared a kiss on the cheek saying hello. For you to say, I never kissed her mouth, she never kissed my mouth. Well, what was she kissing, lickety split? Just saying, what was she kissing? I'm interested to know. Maybe we'll reach out to Latoya to find out exactly what's going on. Candy said, y'all definitely kissed. Candy can be heard exclaiming in the background. Toya did kiss your mouth. Why you lying? Marlo chimes in to refute Drew's denial. And now Marlo's saying it. A riled up Candy points out to the group. The ladies then all seem to get on the same page about what happened while Drew's still on the phone recollecting details. That never effing happened, says Drew. So you're saying I was pulling your wig? We hear Drew ask before the clip abruptly ends. In the final clip, Marlo can be heard telling Drew why she doesn't really believe her allegations. So y'all, is Marlo out here really recording the girls? I'm just like, wait. Hey, you're on a reality show. So when Robin pulled out that phone to record Mia and Wendy, I was kind of like, what is this? If Marlo is recording the girls Marlo, bring your own storylines. It's giving. So people think I don't like Giselle. I technically don't. I don't like what she did to Chris and those allegations. But in terms of Giselle as a character on the show, she is a main character, and my expectation is that you give us your stuff. You don't always just bring up other people's stuff. I get a lot of flack for the stuff I say about Giselle, but I said the exact same thing about Lisa Rinna. We need more storylines from you in your life, not you bringing up other people's. So Marlo also says, it's not that we won't believe Toya, but she's a real bee and she's an Aquarius like me, says Marlo. But she's also lies a effing lot, responds Drew. I don't know if she lies, says Marlo. There's also reference to someone using the expression the pot calling the kettle black when referring to both Drew and Latoya as being liars. Y'all, this is a mess. Marlo is messy and I can't stand her. Snake gate. So would this be tongue gate? I'm thinking this might be tongue gate, y'all. I think it might be tongue gate. And I mean, if Drew and Toya kissed, we technically don't know where because she just said she didn't kiss me on the lips. Wherever they might have kissed, my real thing is, if this happened, is this what is this what led to the downfall of your marriage? Were you and Ralph both out here allegedly cheating? Why a former friend of the show who hasn't appeared on RHOA in several seasons is being talked about so much during the cast trip to Portugal is beyond us. That's where I'm going with this. I really hope for RHOA's sake that they are not using this as a major component to a storyline. And I really hope that they make Marlo work past this, because this feels like she is being more so like a tool for producers. But let's get into some other things, a little bit more mess. Let's get into some mess. We all saw on the trailer that DeShawn Snow, Lisa Wu, and Kim Zolciak filmed a scene with Sheree. I would not be surprised if that scene happened because those three ladies were on Carlos King's nightcap, and he kind of did like a reunion that did not involve Nene. And we know that the producer of the show is Carlos King's mentee. So maybe that all played into why they were on the show. But guys, these women have some stuff that we still want to know. We need to know specifically about DeShawn Snow. Because what you don't know is DeShawn Snow had kind of like maybe heard what people were saying about her and is now leading a more exciting full life now that she then dropped that deadbeat husband. Because her husband had literally, DeShawn was showing us her big, beautiful home, but allegedly her husband had been carrying on a relationship and was actually about to have another baby or have a baby with the mistress, allegedly. So that's part of the reason why DeShawn Snow didn't return. She was going to start, her life was starting to unravel that first season of Housewives. They had spent all those years building that house, but she was focused on the external and he was allegedly focused on the other woman. Well, in the last couple of years, there has been some allegations that DeShawn was involved in fraud. Let me show you. Now, this is the kind of stuff that we should bring back. If you want to bring back some Real Housewives stuff, bring back the stuff that's juicy. Now, DeShawn looks great. She's a little bit more exciting, but they accused her of fraud. So the story goes, DeShawn is now in, I don't want to play that. DeShawn is now in like real estate. And when you are selling high priced real estate, there are these companies that you can go to and say, hey, I have a big deal that's about to close. I haven't gotten the money for it. I want to invest in something else. Go ahead and give me a loan, which will be a high interest loan. And I'm going to pay you as soon as I get my closing. So what the allegations were she was going to these people to get these big loans, 50, 100,000, 150,000, and not actually having the real estate sales to pay them back. That is something that I would want to hear from DeShawn Snow. Come on the show and really let us know what your actual life was like behind the scenes. And what was it like to go through this, having the most beautiful home and the perfect family and the husband that's newly retired. And now you can like really live your life. But that's not the way it popped off for her. That's what I want to know from DeShawn. And were these allegations true? Did you have to settle these court cases? Are they still in court? Are you a high-powered real estate agent? What's your dating life like? Give us the real, because what has been happening on RHOA is they're giving us people like Drew and Blockhead Ralph. I'm not too interested in that situation with Ralph because from the very first season, you're telling us that he's going to Tampa without you. But then you're telling the girls I have the perfect hairline, the perfect marriage, the perfect children, and now you're getting a divorce. Is the divorce for a storyline? Like that's really what I want to know. Not a payday loan. Not quite a payday loan, but basically a payday. Those were the allegations, allegedly. What's up, Really B? So now let's get to Lisa Wu, because I have some thoughts. I like Lisa on Hollywood Divas, but there were always these questions about why Lisa Wu did not have custody of her children that she had with Keith Sweat. Okay, so let me share this with you guys. Now, when she came on the show, she was just like DeShawn Snow. She was beautiful. She had the husband who had the career, and they had the house with the bowling alley, and she was like a consummate business professional, opening business after business. That's how you're supposed to do that's what you're supposed to be doing on these shows. You're supposed to continue, thank you, uplifting, to elevate, right? But the question was always, why don't you have custody of your children if you have the money to fight for them? Now, I want to point out that I did not necessarily think that was a fair question, because she could not mention Keith Sweat's name on the show. and she could not mention her boys on the show while her boys were children. But now, if Lisa were to come on, she could really start telling us what went on behind. There were allegations, there were allegations that Keith had gotten physical with her. And that was in the court case. But there were also allegations that she had been stealing from Keith. We want to know what really went on, because during the show, she starts this fight to get custody. And the judge was basically saying, we're not going to award you custody because the money that you spend is on yourself, not your boys. You are traveling all the time, opening new businesses. And the allegation was that she had stolen from Keith. Now, here's the thing. Keith Sweat was also traveling, because Keith Sweat is, a performer. But the judge awarded custody to Keith Sweat, allegedly, because Keith Sweat's mother was taking care of the kids, not Keith nor Lisa. So if Lisa were to come back to the show, she could really come in and give us some of the behind the scenes of where she is now, what was really going on with Keith Sweat. Give us, because these people are now adults, so she can really give her real life. And I think that part of her storyline was just, she was so beautiful. We want to know what happened with Ed Hartwell. If you guys were so in love, one minute you're telling us that you want to make more babies and we're seeing you guys in the bathtub, but the next moment, as soon as he's kicked off the show and he doesn't get his career jumped off doing, I think he wanted to be like a newscaster or an anchor or a sports commentator. Once that didn't happen, that relationship was over. I would love to know where things went wrong. Just saying, your mother-in-law stole the children. No, I think that from these court documents, the judge saw that neither Keith nor Lisa were really giving the kids the home. It was the mother of Keith Sweat, and that's why they awarded him custody, because the mother was their one stable person in their life. Y'all, that's what I'm saying. The stuff outside of the show was it was like real life stuff happening. But back in the day when RHOA first started, they really wanted to show you just more lifestyle. You really didn't get to see Big Papa. You just knew that Kim had a Bentley and a Porsche and was, you know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff that we want. Are y'all seeing what I'm saying? Give us the real. Because I think that DV situation and how Keith was stopping her from actually giving us what was going on with her was basically an injustice to Lisa. Lisa should have been able to talk about what it was like being in that type of situation and growing and moving forward and meeting somebody else that she loved. Yeah, and that Big Papa is still with his wife. Exactly, Mamiana. Yeah, now let's get to Kim. Because y'all know I broke that Kim story on YouTube when her house was getting foreclosed. Well, Kim was always saying, nope, I'm not going to lose my house. And we couldn't quite figure out why, because there are actual court documents from the very first foreclosure that she had on her smaller loan to her bigger foreclosure that she had. So it was like, where do we really go with this, Kim? We got about 350 people. Definitely like the video. YouTube is not accustomed to me being live on Saturdays, so definitely let YouTube know that we are here and we're having a good time. But okay, so for Kim, if Kim were to come back, and now I think that Kim knew that she was going to be making an appearance on this show, and her rate for coming on the show was going to be a lot more than DeShawn or Lisa Wu could get. I think that this really saved Kim. I think that this really saved Kim from foreclosure. And that's why she was like, this is my house and I'm not leaving. That makes a lot more sense to me than her just still showing the expensive stuff and, still driving the Rolls Royce. So hold on, let me show you this. I don't need to show you. I can just tell you. I would want to know from Kim if you're going to be on the show, because last time she was, we're about to get some juice. Last time Kim was on the show, she told us to Kenya, buy Peach, because Kim was really good friends with one of the producers. So when Kim said buy Peach, wait, we only got 100 likes? Y'all go ahead and like this video, please. It definitely helps not only me, but other content creators who are going to be reviewing RHOA. Shout out to Kimpire. So Kimpire was the one that I think he was the one that I originally heard talking about the importance of likes. So anyway, the Kim told us that Kenya was going to lose her peach, and then Kenya lost her peach. So that means that she did have some inside information. But Kenya also told us that Kim was in dire straits and needed the money. And that is why Kim was filming the show. And if you really look at Kim's story arc that year, she only came in for a short amount of times. She dropped tea on the girls that potentially a producer had told her and walked off. There was never any time where Kim spent a lot of time with them. She wasn't going on the cast trip. So it would make sense. Kim was used to move storylines, and she was probably paid very well for that. However, her show could not be saved because the ratings weren't great. Nobody was really watching Tardy for the Party. So when she was saying, my kids make more than you, she probably did have all of her children and Croy getting a fee for filming that show. And it just didn't make sense to the network to keep that going if you're not making us money. The way networks make money are ratings. Ratings don't pay you, but your ad revenue, that is what pays them. So if you have a low rated show, people are not like coming out of the closet or coming out of the woodwork to pay just to keep Kim on TV. Now, Bravo might continuously save her. Like, I think her appearing on this show is part of the reason why she's still in her home. Just my opinion. Kim, if I'm wrong, go ahead and let me know. But it is very interesting that she knew that Kenya was going to lose her peach. It's very interesting that Kenya knew she didn't have any money like that. And that's the only reason she was doing the show. She was very quick to want to go back to Tardy for the Party. Are y'all piecing this together? So people are kind of telling us in the background what is going to happen. And those storylines are way more interesting than... Oh, hold on. Come on, Mims. You know all this is a setup. Behind the scenes, they always losing their houses so we can believe, like Chateau Sheree. And look how beautiful that turned out. Now it's 1973. You know your boy's a little nosy. I actually have all of like the lien information. I have like, so what happened was on Married to Medicine, they alleged that there were liens and everything. And so, you know, I have access to all that stuff. So I have access to all of Toya from Married to Medicine's liens. And while I was being nosy, I got access to all of, you know, the stuff that was going on with Chateau Sheree. So no, that was not just for a storyline. There were actual liens and everything on the home. And I have all that documentation, allegedly, in my opinion, but it's all public record. But I'm happy for Sheree that she still was able to stay in her home, maintain her home, because I don't technically know how much someone who has a $2 to $3 million home has to pay in taxes in Atlanta, but I'm sure it's a lot when you have a home that size. I have been to Chateau Sheree. The house is like 3 levels. It's huge. The only thing that Chateau Sheree didn't have was a pool, and I think she went ahead and put a pool in recently. So how she has maintained when she wasn't filming on the show, I don't know. But I hope that she is smart, has put her money away, and maybe made enough money to repay. What's up, Reworked? To repay all of the liens and make sure that her house is paid off so that if she ever gets kicked off RHOA again, she didn't have to worry about that. I am very proud of Sheree, what she's been able to accomplish. Lots of people have liens. But in terms of what she was saying, I don't think it's for a storyline. What's up, Rework Brand? Speaking of Black female entrepreneurs who are doing their thing, this lady, Speaking of ratings, this data is the same reason why Escape wanted to stay headliners. Their customers are technically the advertisers. That's a good point. In situations like this, you don't want to reduce your rate because the next time that you go up to have a concert or do something, they're going to say, well, why would we pay you more when you got paid this amount from that person? Good point, Rework Brand. Carol Chamberlain says, come on, Mims, with the receipts. I'm a little bit nosy. I would have thought y'all knew that by now. She went through it, but the house came out. The house, Chateau Sheree and Kim Zolciak's house are two of the most beautiful homes that I have seen. Now, you go into a whole nother level when you go into Lisa Vanderpump's home and that kind of boring lady, Fancy Pants from Orange County. Those are mega mansions. But in terms of Atlanta homes, Chateau Sheree, beautiful. Moore Manor, beautiful. Kim Zolciak's home, beautiful. They really are. And Kim Zolciak's home was really decorated, very beautiful. Now, whether she paid anything back to those people who gave her that loan, I don't know. But yeah, super happy for Sheree. I have not bought anything from her brand yet, but I probably will do a giveaway for you guys of some of Sheree's products, like maybe a t-shirt, or I'm not buying nobody $200 sweatshirt from Sheree, but maybe like one of the t-shirts or something like that. I would gladly give out. I will support, just like I supported Kenya Moore Hair Care. I try to support all the ladies. Just because I come out here and review the show doesn't mean that I don't like support them in real life. If Candace ever goes, I reached out to Sweetie for an interview. She's not exactly responsive or about an interview, but she is responsive, but not about interviews. But yeah, I definitely did. Not we can get it from Shein. Y'all are shady. Where are we? I can't. Let's try to get to at least 300 likes, guys. But yeah, so I think those would be technically more interesting storylines. I want to know, Kim, about your house. Don't just give us a cameo. We got that cameo on Carlos King's nightcap. We want to get into it. If Kim Zolciak is ever on this show, even for a cameo, we need to get our worth out of her. When Kim Zolciak was with Andy Cohen talking about racism did not exist before social media and the world owes her for this racism BS, that is the kind of stuff that we want. What Escape did for us was show us what real reality television is. And y'all want me to interview Sweetie. You guys can go through let me show you guys. I did a Where Are They Now with allegedly Big Papa and Sweetie. Let me show you guys. Big Papa, Sweetie. That's funny. Let me show you. If you go to if you just go to YouTube and put in Big Papa and Sweetie, I have a whole Where Are They Now. You could definitely check that out. I will link that at the end of this video. I showed you guys Big Papa's $25 million home. We talked about his wife, his children, and the fact that he was a person of color. And people are like, no, he's not a person of color. Yes. Big Papa is, if I remember correctly, because it's been a few months, I think Big Papa was Puerto Rican. Who knew? Who knew that Kim would date a person of color? But if you have a $25 million home, I'm pretty sure you have a better shot of getting, a date with Kim. We got over 500 people in here. Definitely hit the like button. But I want to know, do you guys feel like I feel that if Drew kissed Latoya 2 seasons ago, why do we care? And if Marlo brought that up and Marlo is recording, why would anybody truthfully, like, that doesn't feel, what's up, South Africa? So guys, like the video. I'm going to play for you guys my intro while you like the video and then we'll close.
Make it make sense. Could somebody please make it make sense?
Surfer. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
Okay, that was my original intro. No, Big Papa, if I remember correctly, is Puerto Rican. He's definitely not Caucasian. So y'all do with that what you may. I will definitely be doing Love and Marriage Huntsville. I will let you guys know if it'll be tonight after the show or tomorrow morning, but I owe you guys Love and Marriage Huntsville 1 and 2. So it'll be consolidated. But I appreciate you guys being here on a Saturday. I enjoyed it. We had a good old time. Like the video on your way out, and I will see you guys later. And I will link that Sweetie Big Papa story. Have a good one, guys.